Welcome back to the pod, everyone. So today's episode is all about routine. I love routine. If you follow me on Instagram, you would see I'm always up early, and at nighttime I'm always having my sleepy tea. I have these little rituals and habits that have completely changed my life and just made me a better person overall, just with how I treat other people, my energy, how I show up at work, just everything. It's been a really important part of my health journey. So I thought this was a great episode to do after last week's episode, which was all about detoxing and cleansing. If you haven't listened to that episode, I really recommend it because today we're all starting day 1 of a 10-day challenge, which I talk about in that pod. So yeah, it's not too late to join and you can really do it at any time. So if you are doing that challenge, good luck, and I'm excited to hold each other accountable. So the reason I'm doing a pod about routine is the other day I put a question box up on Self-Dom, and first of all, thank you so much for everyone who responded. I read every message and I'm so grateful for them. It seems like routine is something you guys all want to hear about, and I'm very happy to talk about it. I thought I would start off this episode by kind of talking about my own health journey. I think sometimes when you're listening to pods like this, you're like, oh, but I'll never be able to do that. It feels like so far away, but I wasn't always so disciplined and I didn't always have a good relationship with food and exercise. When I was younger, I just didn't view health and fitness the same. I struggled with disordered eating from about the age of 14 until my early 20s. And yeah, I remember the girls at school would actually speak to the counsellor. They'd call my mom, being concerned. And yeah, I just viewed health and fitness in like a punishing way, in terms of like killing myself at the gym and like being so restrictive with how I ate. And to be honest, it actually makes me feel a bit emotional because I was in denial at that stage of my life and I did not have a good routine at all. And I feel like now I've come out the other end. It's one of the biggest drivers for me to inspire other people, because if I can help even just one other person kind of turn the page and start living a healthy life, not a restrictive life, then I've done my job and I'm so, so happy. So I think I wanted to start the pod talking about routine in a sense of it shouldn't be stressing you out, your routine. It is not about that at all. It should be about freedom. It should actually be taking away decisions in the morning, decisions at night. It's going to give you more time to have a clear mind and be creative, because you just know as soon as you wake up what you're doing and before you go to bed what you're doing. But in saying that, life throws us curveballs, and if some days you can't do your routine, don't let it stress you out, because the stress is actually worse for you than everything else. I think it's the worst thing in the world for you, worse than fast food. It is stress. So be strict with your routine, but don't stress yourself out when you can't do your routine. So I today am going to talk to you guys about all my tips and tricks when it comes to sticking to a routine and creating a routine. It has been life-changing for me, and yeah, I think you guys are going to really enjoy the episode. So let's dive straight into it. So my first point is that you need to know your why. Whether you're someone who's had your routine for years or you're someone who's new to health and fitness and wants to create a routine, you need to start by understanding your why. And I've spoken about vision boards before, but they really are an amazing tool at just a bit of self-awareness and self-discovery, because you're going to ask yourself those questions and you're going to write it down and you're going to visualize that person you want to be. I mean, top athletes use visualization. It is proven to work. So why not give it a go? So for me, I think about, who is that girl? How can I be that girl? Every decision we make in life will essentially deter you or put you on the right path to become that girl. This why has to come from within, and it's going to drive you long term. It's going to be your reasoning for all your choices in your life. So my why personally is to inspire people to have a healthy body and mind. Do you see how my why isn't a result? It isn't to have a six pack, or it isn't to lose 5 kilos. My why is to inspire people to have a healthy body and mind. This is about identity. It's not about results, and it's long term, which means that it's gonna help you stick to your routine. So for example, if someone's why was to lose 5 kilos, so their routine in their mind, work out, all these things, is to lose 5 kilos. When they reach that, it's pretty likely they're going to stop their routine and then just go back to square one. So I would reword that to nourish my body and mind to live a long and healthy life. Routine to me is honestly about putting one foot in front of the other. It's about becoming 1% better every day. And the results, like your dream body and all these things, they're a lot more likely to happen when it's not that's not your main focus. So another thing with routine as well is if it was just 5 kilos, you're only going to be proud of yourself when you get to that 5 kilo. The point of a routine in my eyes is that you have these small wins to start your day. So say you start every morning with some breath work and a walk. You're going to feel accomplished before the day has even started. You're getting all these little rewards. You're going to feel so good. Whilst if you're just punishing yourself at the gym to get to that 5 kilos, losing 5 kilos, it's just, there's no longevity with that. So yes, that's all about finding your why and wording it so it's about your identity and not results. Another way to find your why is to ask yourself, what makes me happy? So for me, it could be present with my partner. For someone else, it could be being able to play with my kids. For someone else, it might be getting a promotion at work. But with every decision we make, we need to ask, is this going to positively impact my why? So for example, if you're someone who wants a promotion at work and you're out with friends, you've had a few drinks, it's getting late, and you're like, do I go home or do I stay? If you stay out, you're probably going to feel a bit more hungover tomorrow. You won't write that work email you were meant to write, and so on and so forth. So in that moment, you could ask myself, will this contribute to me getting that promotion at work? See if it aligns, and then make your decision. Another thing I want to touch on as well, which I'm not ready to touch on it yet, but we got some news, and yes, so time is the scarcest resource we have. Way more scarce than money, but we give away our time all the time. So for me, I need to stop people pleasing. I give my time out like, no, tomorrow, all weekend, I've got plans, doing this, doing that, and then I'm exhausted. And when I think about my why, which is to inspire others to have a healthy body and mind, I need to have energy to put into things like the podcast, reading, learning, not constantly out and about. So this year it's all about realizing that time is scarce and I am allowed to say no. And this is going to really help with sticking to your routine because you're like conserving your energy. My favorite thing to ask myself when I'm not sure, I go, if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. So ask yourself that if you're on the fence about things, because if it's not a fuck yes, it's a fuck no. And going on from that, having a routine really helps you set some healthy boundaries when it comes to this. For me, my healthy boundaries are I only go out 2 nights a week and I won't make plans before 8 a.m. because I know that I need that time for my routine and that's my me time, and I just show up better to everyone in my life. I show up better to set and I make healthier decisions. So number 1 is find your why. Number 2 is to make small, achievable changes. So I know it's January and we're all here super motivated and excited. We want to do a 180 on our life, go to the gym 6 days a week. And I say go for it. I say dream big. I'm not here to burst your bubble. But from my experience, it's the little things that create the greatest change. So studies have shown that the failure rate for New Year's resolutions is 80%, with most people losing motivation by mid-February. So we don't want to be in that 80%. And that's why I'm constantly saying it's about putting one foot in front of the other. If your goals and your goals for a routine are too big, like go to the gym for an hour, meditate for 30 minutes, all this, you're not going to achieve it. But if it's something small that you implement, say one thing a month, it's a lot more likely you're going to stick to it and you're going to see all the benefits. So I recently discovered something called habit stacking. And this is where you stack a new behavior you're trying to adopt onto a current behavior in order to help you remember to do it with less effort. I love this, and I think it is a great way if you're new to routines. So for me personally, I wake up every day and I have a matcha. It's my favorite part of the day. So I now put my gratitude journal next to the kettle, and while the kettle's boiling, I do my gratitude. It's right there, I see it, and it has become just automatic now. I don't actually have to think about it. It's become a habit. So if you're someone who wants to habit stack, it could be in the bathroom where you brush your teeth every day, without fail, I hope so. Put a little sticky note on your mirror and just say, think of one thing you're grateful for, and you will do it. It's there. You're brushing your teeth. You're looking at it. You need to make things easier for you because it's just getting started. Once you start and you feel the results, you keep going and you'll stack even more things on top of each other. Number 3, which is just the perfect tip after what we just spoke about, is journaling will really help you stick to your routine, and more specifically, gratitude. So as humans, we have something called negativity bias. We tend to see the negative, and this is in us because, so say you heard rustling in the bushes. You might think there's a robber there. It's good that you've got your guard up in case it is. However, now with like social media and the news, we're triggered all the time, and research has come out that for every positive thought we have 9 negative thoughts. And that blew my mind when I first read it. But when I think back to that time in my life where I was really struggling, I just never felt good enough, and my self-talk was so negative. I want to kind of touch on it again. Being in the modeling industry, there is so much comparison and a lot of judgment. And as I said, I just never felt like I was good enough. And the thoughts were just consuming me, and it led to really bad insomnia, which then led to having red wine at night to fall asleep, which then led to me feeling tired in the morning. So I was over caffeinating. I was on this really bad cycle. And I remember speaking to my oldest girlfriend, Sasha, and she said, have you just tried to write your thoughts down? And I tried it, and it made a difference. And journaling saved my life. That conversation with her saved my life. I just didn't think I could do it. I remember thinking, I'll never be able to be pregnant because I can't not have a red wine at night. I didn't even like the red wine. It was like forcing it down to go to bed. It was just a really shit time. So yeah, I can honestly say from experience that journaling and practicing gratitude just rewired my brain to see the positive. It rewired my brain to see how lucky I was, and everything that I had, and to be in a safe place and to have access to nourishing food. It just completely changed my whole relationship with wellness and health and my body and just myself. And I wanted to share my experience because I think the only way to learn is from hearing people who have come out the other end. And I know that all industries that you work in are so high stress. And yeah, it's obviously not just the modeling industry or fashion industry. And if you're going through that, you're not alone. And maybe this is your sign to give journaling a go. As I said, it allowed me to just stop punishing myself. It's allowed me to stop binging. I became so much more aware, self-aware. I'm happier, I'm present. I haven't missed a day of journaling in 4 years. Even 2 years ago, I was in Mykonos with a bunch of my friends, and we would be out till like 4 in the morning, and I would get home and I would still journal. It is a non-negotiable in my routine, and it allows everything else to flow so nicely. For example, at night, I write what I'm grateful for, and I'm always grateful for movement. I'm always grateful for my meditation. And that allows me to stick to that routine, because I realize that those moments are some of the highlights of my day. Why would I not do it? Why would I not wake up before work and get it done and have those small wins? Journaling has been scientifically proven to enhance your mood, boost your immune system, lower anxiety, help with symptoms of depression, improve your sleep and self-esteem. And it literally takes a few minutes. Stack it onto your matcha making like I do, and you will just see such a result. For me, I do it in the morning and night, but if you're new to it, it could just be writing down 3 things you're grateful for in the morning, and it will make such a difference. So going on to my 4th tip, it is accountability is key. This is one of the big reasons I did create Self-Dom, because I want to create a space where there's just community and people feel like they've got like-minded people around them to inspire them, to uplift them, to congratulate them on their wins. And yeah, with accountability, often you might rely on a friend or someone in your family. For me personally, I see my trainer Giannis, and he holds me accountable. But also I train with a group of girls who are strong and fit and inspiring. And when I train with Giannis, it's really hard. So sometimes I feel a bit resistant, but I'm like, I know I'm going to feel amazing after I get to see my friends. There's that social aspect to it. And yeah, that accountability really helps with that part of my routine. But I know that accountability might be a bit of a touchy subject for some people. You might not feel like you have someone to hold you accountable. And that's where social media is actually an amazing tool, because yes, on one hand, it might be negative. You might compare yourself, but you choose who you follow, so unfollow those people. But it's also a way to find like-minded people. You might join a meditation group or a run club, and I know it's so daunting to rock up to these things alone, but it's really worth just putting on your big boy pants and going. And first of all, it's going to hold you accountable. But second of all, it's going to allow you to meet like-minded people. I remember when I was starting my health and fitness journey, I was getting into like breath work and meditation, and the people around me kind of thought it was a bit woo-woo and weird. Even the other day, I was doing an ice bath and my dad was here, and he was just looking at me like, what the heck are you doing? So I definitely feel like you need to have people around you who understand it, so that you don't feel alone, so that you are inspiring each other to do what's best for your body and mind. I really feel like a lot of us are too content. We're happy in our little bubble. We just tick off the boxes. Like, I've got friends, I've got a good job, I've got XYZ, but life should be amazing. And I just don't think you should give up until you find your tribe. We all know the quote, you're the combination of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It is so true. I can't, like, my boyfriend Tom is a meditation teacher and breathwork coach, and I have learned so much from him. I feel like being around that has completely changed how I view these things and holds me accountable. And yeah, that's just one example, but you need to be around people who love the same stuff. And yeah, I encourage you to go to a social event, try that run club, reach out to someone on social who looks interesting to you. Don't be afraid and don't be stuck in that bubble. It's going to help you stick to your routine so much. My last tip is that everyone's routine looks different. I was walking the other day and I saw a group of people on the water's edge dancing to the sunrise. And I was like, that's an epic morning routine. I love that. Everyone's routine is so unique. And I think if you're new to your journey or you've been doing a routine for a while, why don't you write down on a piece of paper the things that bring you joy? See if you're a high energy person or a low energy person, and you can use that to kind of form your routine. Social media can be a funny place because we all see these clean girl aesthetic and everyone's, making their perfect matcha and doing their routine and it all looks perfect. No one's routine looks perfect every day, and your routine can always change. There is no rules with it. I need you to remember that. So for me, my non-negotiables when it comes to routine is gratitude, movement, and meditation, but I will mix up how I do that. At the moment, I'm loving yoga, and that's part of the 10-day challenge. So that's my movement. My meditation is a mantra, but sometimes I will do guided. Those three things need to be ticked off in some way. It is so okay to mix it up, and it's so okay to have a routine that's unique to you. Don't compare yourself to the perfect aesthetics on Instagram. This is the time to create rituals and habits that work for you so that you can feel your best self. So that's the end of the episode. I hope this encourages you to start small and just put one foot in front of the other, because this is how you will get the best results. I want you to acknowledge your achievements and be so proud. And I want you to remember that you are in charge of every decision you make to be that girl. So make those decisions right. Know your why and stick to it. Thanks for tuning in. I am loving seeing this community grow. If you guys are doing the challenge, good luck. I'm really excited to hear how you feel after the next 10 days. And I will be sharing on my socials what I'm getting up to and how it's looking for me. And I hope this helps keep you accountable. I'll see you on the next episode.